Hello and welcome back, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Today we're going to be going over Tinto Talks number 28, which of course is more discourse. We love the discourse on the upcoming EU5, aka Project Caesar, aka Project Teaser, the big top, big secret. We don't know it's EU5, except it's EU5, and let's jump into it. Welcome everyone to another Tinto Talks, the Happy Wednesday. We do love the Happy Wednesday. We love the capitalization of Happy Wednesday, as is tradition, because it is in fact a holiday, big happy, big nice, where we talk about the top secret game, the big tops game, with the codename Project Teaser. Today we will delve into the most, again we're delving, we never stop delving, into the most hated of all seasons, winter, which of course is coming. Luckily for us, we don't have to live with it the entire year, except for, don't they live in Sweden? Isn't that like 3/4 the year? Something like that? Okay, anyways, no, they don't live in Sweden. They're throwing shade at the rest of their development. So Paradox Studios is in Sweden, right? The main HQ. But the Tinto Talks, these guys are in Spain, España. So is this shade that they're throwing at the rest of the devs? Hot damn. Big nice. Okay, so climate of winter. So what impacts whether or not a location has winter or not? Well, primarily it depends on the climate, but also the time of the year and the level of winter currently nearby. We have winter levels. Of course, when there is winter, it is different for the northern and southern hemispheres, obviously, because you flip them 6 months in terms of who has the winter when. Every day, each location does its calculations for whether it should be changing its winter level. There are 3 levels of winter. Technically, it is 4, but no winter is not really winter, is it? Well, as a philosophy major, I think no winter is in fact a form of winter. It's just the smallest of winters. Truly. Anyways, and during the course of a season, a location could experience all types of winter. We have mild, normal, and severe winters. What is common for all the levels of winter is that they affect attrition for your armies, so winters will always kill off some of your soldiers. So it is going to be interesting to see that it seems like going to war in winter is going to be even more punishing than it has been in previous games, as well it should be, because you would conduct all of your wars, generally speaking, historically, in the spring, right after winter, so you would have a long time to do a long campaign, because running a war in winter was insane. And so it'll be nice to see a game where it is, so far I don't think I've ever played a grand strategy game where I have felt properly incentivized to never fight in winter, and I don't even pay attention to the season when I go to war. Hopefully we see this in EU5, aka Project Teaser. Pops living in climates that regularly experience winters will have high demand for fur. Very cool as well that we see a different buy orders, buy baskets for pops that are currently experiencing winter. Food in winter. Food production is severely reduced when winter comes, while pops still eat normally. A mild winter is a reduction of 25%, while a severe winter basically reduced the food production to 0, so unless there's a lot of food stored in a province, severe winter may cause starvation in your locations. Also super cool that this is going to affect, kind of how you're going to end up structuring, games are interesting when you have different sort of decisions trees based on your or different sorts of decisions made differently based on kind of the situation you find yourself in, and you might find that rather than building an economic building where you would do if you were playing Portugal, you have to prioritize stuff like food stockpiles in someplace far north as a result of food in winter and starvation and this type of stuff. And so it'll be nice that having to play around various things is going to give you different decision points. Another one of these is very similar, is constructions. One of the drawbacks of winter is normal and severe winters will impact constructions, so not mild, and with impact we are talking about stalling them completely. This affects everything from constructing a building to building a ship. It makes the gameplay experience for a country like Sweden or Norway a bit more difficult, as you will have to plan around the fact that you can lose several months of a year at times. This is also pretty substantive, in terms of affecting the way that you play, and also finally nerfing Sweden. We do see this building is currently stalled by the winter. We get this, I guess this is the stall icon, but okay. Placeholder for icons locking, but useful tooltips, fair enough. Freezing seas. Narrows, inland seas, and lakes have the possibility to freeze over during the winter. This can happen in seasons when a sea zone has a severe winter for over a week, and then will last until the winter is no longer severe in that location. A frozen sea zone can be traversed by armies, and this allows allows greater military control over the lands it reaches. However, it will cause navies to get stuck until it thaws. So this is super cool. You know, a level of depth I think that we haven't seen previously with grand strategy games, at least too much, at least from the Paradox series, regarding winter. Be careful when the weather changes. It can thaw with catastrophic consequences if the army is on the ice. This, of course, also makes sense. Navies can also not enter any sea zone that has frozen over. So we see inland sea, and does this mean that it's frozen? Frozen over PNG? Okay, we do see this frozen over here. So when Store Belt and Lilba freezes, you don't need navies to reach Koberhaven. Sweden words, apologies for the pronunciations. Also, very cool with this, with the mountains. You already know that warfare during the winter is a bit more risky, fair enough, but Project Teaser adds another element to it. An element of cold. The element, we have cold, we have fire, we have earth, we have wind, and of course cold comes with the winter. No, we don't mean element that way. Any location with the topography of mountain will be blocked for army movement unless it's led by Hannibal Barca during normal and severe winters. Of course, Hannibal Barca is allowed to cross over the Alps with the elephants during the winter. This can help create natural borders and some interesting strategic gameplay. This is pretty interesting because if you start a war in the winter and you have forts in all your non-mountain zones, maybe you can bait the AI into marching on you and something like this, but maybe that's like just kind of exploitative of the AI, but it also means that you know, if you can stall out wars and you build, you know, forts and hills and you create lots of choke points. The fact that the choke points are dynamic, I think, is the biggest thing here when it comes to mountains just being not traversable, and so this will be interesting. Winter level. The winter level is the severity of the winter and location. Harsher winter will halt constructions. We get this nice big tooltip, and even freeze over some shallow sea zones. Armies that are able to move locations of mountains are unable, to move into locations with mountains topography during normal severe winter. Although I guess if they're already there, they could stay there. Interesting. Maybe there's some strategies involved in that. You can have your army be untargetable if you move it there in the fall, and then you just keep it there throughout winter. But maybe that's also a good way to starve your army. The maximum winter level that a location can experience is dependent on its local climate. The winter levels are as follows: no winter, mild winter, normal winter, and severe winter, which of course, no winter being our favorite form of winter because we don't like winter. Tooltips are always helpful, that's true. Sadly, there will not be a Tinto Talks. Boo! Boo! Next week, as it is a holiday that day, but after that, boo, we will be back more and talk more about roads, development, prosperity, and more. So the unbroken, you know, what has this been, like 7 to 9 weeks of happy Wednesdays? Next week it'll all come to an end. We will not have the happy Wednesday. We will have a sad Wednesday, because we will not have been wished a happy Wednesday. Truly, tragedy. But anyways, if you enjoyed this video, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe. Kind of a little bit of a shorter one. You know, YouTube algorithm stuff, links down below, etc., etc. Mostly etc. And other than that, have a happy Wednesday.